Jesus, Siri. Jesus. Why is Siri not improved more? I know everyone's talking about it. I don't care about Alexa. Apple was the cutting edge of all of the technology, right?
I guess.
They were. Don't listen to Ken Daly.
Okay.
Ken Daly is anti-Apple, and everything he says is true. Shout out to Ken Daly.
Hi, Ken Daly, who's not listening.
He isn't listening, you think?
I don't know. It's a 50-50.
Wouldn't be so.
I'd be surprised.
Why don't you call him and say, we've been giving you shout-outs, right? He got me down on Apple. Well, I always like Apple over Bill Gates. But how can you have a problem that continues to go? How can before I touch anything do they say, how can I help you? And then before I do anything else, these are the things that you... Are people that stupid they don't know the question? They're going to Siri. Siri, what's up with questions? Siri, I need to ask you a question. Maybe today, but can you give me some ground rules? Give me Bobby's number. Call Teddy at school. What is this designed for? And then, does Siri hear you? You probably talk to Siri.
It was all designed for this bit.
I know, but what's really sad is I've been doing this exact bit every night.
To your wife.
Hey, Josh.
Yes?
It's all happening now. We won't say the name of the place, but the legal pot is near me.
Yes. Have you gone?
No, because, you know why?
Because you're lazy and you had pot already?
I'm waiting for a sale.
You're waiting for
You like that joke? I'm waiting for a sale. I've been preparing that all night.
It's nice.
And the reason why I didn't, here's what I did. I didn't tweet it.
You set that up for 36 episodes or 37 episodes. You set up for that joke.
Hey, you were fooled. And now I have a pen that doesn't write. Oh boy.
It's a Zen pen.
I'm falling apart today. I really am, Zach.
Did you just call me Zach again? You started the show by calling me Zach.
Okay, here was the thing, though.
I thought it was a bit.
No, the reason why
he called me Zach. Yep, he did.
No. As I was saying it this time, I realized I was calling you Zach, and I realized the reason why I was that it had something to do with I saw Zach Galifianakis' face on Twitter. That still doesn't explain it to me.
It's clear that you're confusing the two of us, but it's.
Well,
I suppose it's flattering.
It'd be better if would you like me to
if you called me Louie, if we're going with that show, then I'd be
Norm
more
Crosby.
upset. Yes.
Noam Crosby would be another. Oh, thought of I never can think of a malapropism.
Yeah.
But now I thought of a perfect one.
Palapropism.
I'm having trouble consecrating. Uh-huh. That would be a perfect example.
Yes.
Because unless you give people an example, they still don't get it because it still seems odd.
That's a really good paralomopism.
Ooh. Are you doing those comedy? Is this the kind of comedy where it's like the procrastination? You bought the book about procrastination, but you won't get to the...
That was a very quick, I brought up this topic, now I'm giving you shit for talking about it.
Oh, no, this is just my new attitude in general.
Oh, okay.
I'm loaded for bear. Why does it look like you have a coffee in a 1950s Greyhound station cup?
That's about the size of it, really.
And that should be the name of our next podcast.
About the
size of it. Today
we're working with medium large.
I couldn't think of the name of the one porn guy who's in everything.
John Holmes?
No, he's dead.
That's from the 70s.
That's in a scary movie. I think it's called Wonderland or something. John Holmes, you would think having the world's largest penis would have been enough for him.
That's right.
You would have thought doing wonderful movies every day would be enough for him. But no, he got into some trouble.
Right. There was a dark side.
Did you ever see that movie? It's like Wonderland or something.
Well, there's Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it was similar to the Boogie Nights thing, which actually the scene in Boogie Nights with the firecrackers reminds me of and maybe I've said this before, but it's the 80s. Exactly what the 80s were out here for me. Because you do any, like Rich Shrider used to do that bit about how when you do coke, you'll do it with anybody. Oh, you kill people for a living? Oh, that's pretty cool. So when you do coke, when I was doing coke in the 80s, I would end up at someone's house. I didn't know who they were.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I could be one of those people. That someone says, "Hey, 25 years ago, you didn't sexually harass me, but I didn't have a good time." You really, really got on my nerves.
Right. but I felt perfectly safe telling you to go fuck yourself.
When did you do that?
I was speaking the role of the woman who was sexually harassed by you in the
Oh
80s.
no, they never. No, disappointed in
You're
in
not
my
threatening was my joke.
disappointing. Yes, a downer. Sure. Almost weird to the point of creepiness. Maybe.
You're drinking a New York seltzer?
I love this. Now
I haven't seen a New York seltzer in many years.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because you can. First of all, they have them maybe even still, if the pavilions are still open.
Yeah, it's down to like can of beans.
No, I think they've been bringing in stuff every day. Like bring some bananas in there. You know, they gotta have some fresh
Make
produce.
the place look nice.
They definitely got a shipment of produce that maybe they're like, look, we had to.
Right.
We couldn't.
No one
send
told the truck not to come.
Oh, nice. Nobody told Dole and or Chiquita.
And did people mob the truck like a refugee camp?
They mob me when I go there. They go, aren't you the guy who kind of looks like Patton Oswalt, who I always think is in King of Queens?
Aren't you the
Yes.
guy who walked out without paying last time?
That's not nice because that's one of my fears. That's one of my OCD fears.
Yakpot.
Well, one of the great stories in my family is my brother. I don't want to say it's a great story. I blew it, so forget it. It's a terrible story. But he went to a toll. He drove through a toll booth.
Okay.
And either the money he was supposed to throw the money in the thing,
right?
And the money was on the ground or whatever, and he left. He just drove out, and the alarms went.
Yeah.
He goes to the next toll thing, and he says to the guy, "At that last toll thing, I went through without paying." I goes, don't worry about it. And then my brother just goes. He doesn't realize he's now going to go through this next one.
He's got there too without paying. And was there ever any piper to pay in that incident?
No. I'd like to say there was.
Yeah, I would have liked a third one.
That's
frankly.
what Letterman would say.
I would have liked a third one.
Letterman would say that's not the way the story ended, right? He would have people tell celebrity stories and then twist them around.
Yes. Could have used that.
I could have used that. Well, I'm not here to perform, am I? Well, we hope.
I was counting on it, but
I was counting on it.
that's what I said. That's what Zach said.
Well, do you think I've drained enough comedy from the Excella? Is it called Excella? Is that what the other name is called? Alexa?
Excella is the train in the Northeast.
Wouldn't that be great for train enthusiasts? They go, Excella, what time is the Boston to Milwaukee? I don't want to do any train material because it does seem like every week someone's dying on a train. I don't know why you think it's so funny.
Who died on a train? Who died on a train this week?
No, but there was one that was a high-speed train that went,
Right.
was that California?
No, that was out east.
I don't know if it was out east, Josh. I think northwest. No, you're right. I don't know. You know, I have become a better person just by not claiming I'm right most of the time because I'm always wrong, almost always wrong.
All right.
But I always hate that.
But it's
mode.
worse when you said you were, when you dug in, it's way worse.
No, that's not who did that.
Absolutely.
That's Rupert Holmes wrote that song.
We had Jen Kirkman wrote today on Twitter that she was screaming Crispin Glover at us on the when she was listening to last week's podcast because neither of us could pull it out of our ass. We needed it.
Yeah, and she was saying that she also does that in her podcast. She's just one. I think she was big time in us. I'm just kidding, of course. I can never say I'm just kidding anymore because nobody really, even someone like Jen Kirkman, who I would kid with, I could say something on Twitter and she would have no idea what I was saying, and then it'd cause a whole kerfuffle. It probably wouldn't because we haven't been through kerfuffles, but I've seen her go through kerfuffles, and I've gone through kerfuffles.
Yeah, no, one can only imagine if your kerfuffle streams cross.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to do a TED Talk on
what was that?
This guy did a TED Talk, Josh.
Yeah.
And it was about is consciousness real? It's like one of these things like, are we really here? Is anything that we're saying? It's like you're doing a TED Talk about are we here? Doesn't that imply you do the TED Talk, therefore you're here? That's what I say.
Yeah.
I'm like Descartes, but with TED Talks. I think, therefore, I am.
I went in to read for a TED Talk.
That's a joke, right?
The role of Ted.
Oh, there's a whole series of Ted dancing talks.
Yes.
How many shirts have we sold?
I don't know. Some.
You think we sold some?
I think we sold some, yeah.
Oh, my God. It's very exciting.
Day one, the gift shop, the Thought Spiral gift shop is now open.
All you have to do is go to Zazzle. What is it?
At Zazzle.com/thought_spiral.
We know how.
And we had to put in the underscore, by the way.
Why?
I don't know. They wouldn't let us.
You mean for the shirt?
For our web address.
Okay. And is it? But is it? I know.
You're just giving me the confused
No, but at
old man
Zazzle, I went to
face.
Zazzle today or yesterday, and I
Yeah.
said, "Oh my God, 300 messages! It's not for us. That's all the Zazzle people. I didn't know you were bringing us into an outfit where there were other people selling their shirts and mugs. I can't even muster enough character to do a character.
It's all Alex. Alex is in charge of the shirt.
Showbiz Studios.
Yes. Now he's in the shirt Brizness.
What did he texted me the other day.
He's a good business man.
Alex texted me the other day, and I said to myself, I'm not going to turn it on, but I said to myself, maybe I won't answer so much of his texts. Because you answer people's texts. I notice they answer more than one thing sometimes.
Yeah. I just go for one a day. I save it up. What's the best question I can ask Andy? And then go with that.
I told you a long time ago, you could ask me one question. Never look at me in the eyes. Never mention Steve Harvey's name to me. If my dressing room is closed, guess what? It's closed. Guess what? You're not someone who says guess what, are you?
I don't know. I probably do at a certain point.
Yeah, but maybe once or twice a year. But Chuck Todd's like,
Generally,
but guess what?
Generally, I want people to guess when I say it. I save it for very literal occasions.
Well, I have to go see a doctor, I think tonight.
Are you just not tracking at all?
Oh, no, I'm tracking.
Or are you just not listening?
No, here's the thing. I heard what you said. You said I'm not listening. I'm always aware when people are accusing me of not listening.
Right.
But
That's when
the thing about it
that's when Alexa turns on in your head.
You could ask me, what is concrete made out of? You could ask me, where's the nearest shoe store? Why? What? Idiot.
I don't even know what you're mad at.
You know what I'm mad at.
No.
Is that, when you ask who's her name? Siri.
Yeah.
And you press it and you start talking. It doesn't register that you're talking. Then it goes, how can I help you? It says. And then after that it goes right past what you say to them. And then it goes, you could ask me the following questions. Number from my address book.
Right. Because you take too long to ask, it sounds like.
Yeah, but who's going onto Siri without any idea why they're there? Oh, Siri. This looks like a nice area. What's this do?
But I think if you say Siri and then ask your question, it's supposed to do the thing.
Hey, Siri. Hey, I got another thing now, a new thing. I got a tile for my phone.
Yeah.
My wife got it for me for Christmas.
Oh, we were talking about that, and does it track the phone for you?
Yeah, it does. And you could use it for anything.
Oh, here come the dogs.
Now, how come
Lucky now.
How come Lucky is in? Where's Clyde?
Clyde's upstairs.
And Clyde does not sometimes join in the frivolity?
He could. He might be coming down the...
He could be going from the upper side.
Yeah.
I walked by your house
He's in
yesterday.
the guard turret upstairs.
The dog turret. That didn't
Listen to
sound
Lucky.
right.
She's being good. Usually she'd be barking her ass off right
But
now.
do you think it's because she's aware that we're doing our podcast?
I think she does. She is. She's recognizing broadcasting norms.
Do you anthropomorphize your dog?
That's not a word, but I know what you're talking about.
What am I trying to say?
Anthropomorphize.
Why did I add anthropomorphizing? That's like when you want to
It's a little Norm
supersize.
Crosby.
Supersize it. You don't say ginormous ever, even as a mistake, right?
I never have, no.
It's bad, right?
Humongous, I'll say.
Humongous is, I think, a different word.
It's an actual word.
Do you say guesstimate? No, it's ridiculous that anybody would ever say it.
Well, why would I answer
Because an
affirmatively
estimate
at that
is a
point?
guesstimate, Josh. This is all part of my new tribute to Edwin Newman I'm doing.
I think, colloquially, a guesstimate is a step below an estimate.
I think that you're right.
There's
I think
less
you can make that
personal
argument.
guarantee behind a guesstimate than there is an estimate.
I know. The thing is, your ability to be reasonable and rational is really
Sometimes
it's starting to get to me now.
It's the only choice I have sometimes. It's
No,
it's that or take the opposite side stridently.
No, what you could do is you could say something
Or say,
even
what
more,
the fuck are you talking about?
just say something even more insignificant than I'm saying. And just
it's hard.
It's hard. Hey, congratulations on the Vikings.
Thanks, ass.
I did not enjoy watching that game.
I did not either, but it was nice as opposed to a traditional Vikings loss where you had the whole second half to adjust to the fact that they lost.
Didn't you still think they could win at the beginning of the second half, right? What was the score at the end of the first half?
I think they were down
28-7?
Yeah, something like that.
24-7?
It was surmountable but unlikely at the half.
And
then, yeah.
Well, you said online today on Twitter.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hold on one sec.
Look, we're having trouble. It's not that we're having trouble with the dogs. I argued a long time ago that we should leave these awkward moments in, and Josh told me, I'm just going to just act. Josh told me we already have enough awkward moments. Well, maybe we need more that you can use wild.
All right, here comes Clyde.
Here comes Clyde. Now, are you going to be annoyed later? Would you rather me not talk at all now, so then we can wait till this sound is over?
Well, I'm not that worried you're going to say something good, so go ahead. We can just keep going. People know we have dogs.
Yes. So here's my problem. I have a problem. You know I have a problem. I've had a problem. Emotional problems.
Yeah.
But the one problem that seems to be getting in the way, almost like have you ever heard of the yips?
Yeah.
I've never had the yips, but I can imagine it's very... Well, that's not... You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you son of a gun. But some people, baseball players, they can't throw they get like psyched out. They can't throw the ball a certain way.
Chuck Knobloch, very famously, as the second baseman for the Yankees, could not make the throw to first base.
For the double play or just any time?
And he couldn't make a simple routine throw.
And he had to retire, or did he become designated
he ultimately
hitter?
had to retire. He played for another team. But
Why didn't he play first base?
Because he's little.
Oh. And so he just couldn't throw.
He would throw it over the head of the first baseman. No, it's pretty funny.
Because it would be.
I love Chuck Knobloch because he was a world champion Minnesota Twin. But it was pretty fun.
Okay, so he was a world champion on the Twins?
Yeah.
And then he decided, look, what do I got to throw over the first four? So then, how long did he have that problem? And did they ever figure out what is that problem? I know they call it the yips, but has anybody ever figured it out emotionally or psychosomatically or psychoanalytically?
I'm sure people have tried and written shit on it, but it's not that interesting to me.
Well, you
like Charles Barkley. Did you ever see his golf swing?
Well, but he's just a terrible golf swing.
But crazy with this weird stop in the middle of it. And it's really funny.
But do you think he has the yips? I think.
Yeah, I think it's that. It's that same thing where it's just
he's a great athlete.
The mental block is so bad, or NBA players who can't sink free throws.
Right. Well, that's Shaq. And now they said that Shaq. Someone told me once that Shaq actually has weird wrists or injured wrist or something. I don't know, but Shaq. He could be 100 years old. He'll never get better. And yet he's still more consistent than me from the foul line.
Yes.
I tried for many years to play basketball.
I can't imagine you making it to the foul line. I can't imagine you getting beyond. Oh, you fouled me. Oh, with the big.
Does that make you feel better than to make me feel less than?
Less than an NBA player? Yes.
Well, it's a very dicey story because the time I got my left arm broken in high school, which led me to play guitar because I can make the chords, and I strummed, and it's a famous story.
Uh-huh.
But the point is that how I broke my arm was I was the shortest person in probably Queens.
Okay.
So they used to say, when he would say break ranks during gym, we could break ranks and we could do our own thing. Okay. So if I wanted to play basketball, the only way I could do it would be to make a mad dash for the basketball foul line and get there before the other kids got there and have the chance of making a foul shot because no one would ever pick me.
Okay.
That's how terrible I was. So he said break ranks.
So getting a foul shot got you on the team?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Yes. It got you on just the pickup game. This wasn't like a varsity team.
No, I didn't think that. It seems like the bar would be a little higher.
The first two people who made the foul shot were captains of each team,
Okay.
and then they picked 2 other guys. It was 3-on-3.
Okay, so you were shooting to be a captain, so you wouldn't have to be picked.
I wouldn't be picked. You
Right.
make it sound like
No, but I'm saying right.
most likely.
No, I'm saying that's why you had to be captain.
One time, half the team died, and they just went with a dead body. What's the body where they drove it around?
Weekend with Bernie's at Bernie's.
But I ran very fast when he said break ranks, and because I ran so fast to get to the foul line, I tripped over another guy's leg, and I went right down there.
Okay.
And I broke my arm.
Wow. So.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that my vision of you writhing on the floor on the basketball court was like dead on.
It's just terrible. It was a terrible time in my life.
Why? You learned to play guitar.
But it's true. But I tried to learn how to shoot. So you know how like the guy, maybe you do this, where you go like that, where you shoot, and then the hands still going towards the ball.
Right.
I've never been able to figure out how to do that.
No, the way you were just doing that, the way you were miming it,
right?
You were like plowing the ball into the ground. Yes.
Yeah, but okay. You know what you're gonna have? God damn it! We're gonna have to go 1-on-1. Because if I don't go out of the court and see you go nuts on me, I will. Where did you say that you were? Did you say that you were a sports fan, but not that much of a sports fan? Or am I mixing you up with a podcast I was listening to? Ari Melber. Maybe it was Ari Melber and Katie Tur. But maybe we've talked about sports.
I don't know. You've already confused me for one person tonight.
But now, you tweeted today that you never thought they could win. And are you just hedging your bets with that?
No, you didn't read the full joke.
Oh, I didn't then. What was the full joke?
I wrote, unlike most Vikings fans, I thought that they might lose like this. Most Vikings fans thought they would lose in the last minute.
I missed the joke. I missed the joke because you almost need the, I thought we'd lose like this.
Right.
And that's where the Twitter, without the fonts, the sarcasm fonts.
You give me fucking italics, I will take over the world.
I wish that was true.
I know.
Because I would be getting you italics in some way. Well, that was a sad game, and I love that guy Diggs, though. Is that guy Diggs always good the whole year, or was he just amazing on the last couple of
No, he was good. He was one of the primary dudes.
I got to learn more about sports.
I'm a big basketball is my jam.
So you're good. You do play.
No, I don't play, but I watch.
But we both play, right? We both play, don't we?
Nudge, nudge. Know what I mean?
No, I mean, haven't you played like a 2 and 3 and 3? I mean, I played throughout. I never was good.
No,
at it.
I'm a terrible basketball player. I always have been.
What's-
played. I used to like the last time I played. We played in Minneapolis. The Comics had a weird pickup game in a church basement on a weeknight.
Was it fun?
Once a week. It was kind of fun, yeah.
But I hate when people get very intense.
Well, you can't find 10 dudes who are like who are adults.
Yeah.
Who all have the same level of competitiveness in a pickup game.
No,
so
you cannot.
It's really tough, especially comics. You never know where the tripwires are with comics.
Yeah.
So these are Minnesota comics, so it was like a notch down on the intensity scale. But it was still like,
You didn't have any future Timberwolves?
I never had, I used to have, when I first moved out here, I had a racquetball court in the apartment building I lived in.
Now, is this with the 4 walls?
Yes.
There's no way to physically play that sport. I can't play that sport. I played with my brother once. The ball's caroming up my nose. How do you learn to play that? What does it mean it goes off of 4 walls? How do you have a game then?
There's a lot.
So you're good
There's
at that.
a lot in that
Are
question.
you good at that? I bet you are good at that.
20-some years ago, I was a decent player because
Wow.
I played a lot because I had a place in my thing I could use for free.
And did you go?
I had there was a lot of sort of it's like a middle-aged man game is what it is. And I was 22. I was fat 22, but still I was 20 or 22.
And
I was.
what's the difference between that and squash?
The racket and the ball.
But they also play in the indoor thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm not very coordinated since I knocked my own microphone down. So, did you have fun doing that? Was it fun?
Sometimes. Well, that was where I was going with this. I would play with different dudes, and some people were really fun to play with, and some people were horrible to play with.
Well, I
like I used to play with. I used to play with this comic named John Pinney.
I know him.
He was he booked Stanford and Sons in Kansas City.
No, maybe I don't know him. Maybe
he was a former boxer.
Oh, I know.
He was a Southern Midway. He said, "Hey, it's John Pinney. I'll see you out down the road." And
that was his catchphrase.
That was my impression of him. Oh. Yeah, everyone goes, "That's an amazing John Pinney." But like because he was a professional athlete, he was super competitive. Now by this time, he was also like a barrel with legs. So I would beat him on a regular basis, and he would just get furious about it.
Well, because he was a boxer.
Yeah.
If you're a boxer,
But the thing about racquetball is there's a lot of trick shots.
Right, but I don't see...
There's a lot of ways that a fat guy can win at racquetball if you know these trick shots.
How do you get better at it? You go in there, the thing is banging around your head. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another shot.
I don't know. You don't do the Jerry Lewis approach.
Is that his...
with the ball!
With the lady with the frame!
But yeah, I don't know. It's a very middle-aged man sport.
My father was a very good handball player, the old style handball against the one wall.
Yeah.
And when he was in high school, he got to the finals or something.
The finals of what?
Don't talk to my dad that way. You're dead. The finals of the city. The city handball. I don't make these things up.
Okay.
He also said he went fishing with Babe Ruth.
He was also a tetherball champion.
Yeah, I used to love that. Eric Tunney, may he rest in peace. He used to have a joke about how his grandfather would always exaggerate. Yeah, I know. You had a fist fight with Hitler. I know, Grandpa.
That actually, just when I said tetherball, it sparked a memory of it was one of the few times in my life where I actually had athletic dominance in a sport.
In tetherball?
Like 5th or 6th grade at my elementary school. I was unbeatable at tetherball.
Well, you're not going to believe this, but there was a time when I was unbeatable at tetherball, but not at a school. I had one in my backyard.
Yeah.
And do you know why I was so great at it?
Because it was shorter than
I would grab the ball without them knowing I was grabbing it. Or at least I didn't say anything. And so I think I'm cheating, right?
You were catching it and throwing it?
Kind of like, no. Kind of like, you kind of like move it with your hand longer than you would hit it.
Yeah. Yeah, you were cheating.
And do you do it with the closed fist, or you can do anything, right?
I think you can do anything, yeah. I think you can slap or punch.
Yeah, and I love the way the thing would go around. But I didn't know how to play it properly. That was I think they should have more professional. You think tetherball will ever take off as a team sport? I had a friend try to explain cricket to me once.
It's hard. I had my father-in-law, may he rest in peace.
Oh, no, he's not dead. He just has restless leg syndrome. Is that a good joke?
Yeah.
My grandmother, may she rest in peace. Oh, no, she's alive. She does a lot of complaining.
He was from India, and so he was a big cricket fan.
Oh, that's right, because India is where, I don't understand. England was a big colonial power. They were imperialist power, right?
Right.
And they occupied India at one time?
They did. It was a colony of England, yes. And that's where he grew up in British occupied India. And then, and he grew up Anglo-Indian, which was almost a different caste, sort of. He considered himself to be British.
Oh.
Until after partition, he went to England, and they considered him to be Indian. So,
what was partition?
Pakistan,
India?
Yeah, and after independence.
Is that 47 or something like that? 40, around there?
Yeah.
Well, that's
48 or 47, yeah.
Well, one of those is Israel.
Right.
Wow.
And so that's how he ended up in America, because he was an engineer, but he could only get a janitor job in England.
That's the thing that...
and then he ended up an anti-immigration Republican in California.
No.
Yes, that's why I call him the Dolly Limbaugh.
Well, how does he justify that?
He doesn't. He's dead.
Why? Who was he? I forgot the start of the story.
Yeah. Well, let's.
You said he was Indian. I don't know how you got.
This was my father-in-law. Allison's father.
Oh, and said, what was he doing that we were calling attention to? So here's my problem, Josh. I can't remember what I'm saying. It's getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
This is a bad night so far. I can feel it. I can see you losing it from beginning to end.
No, what I need to do is stop doing it.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what I want to do.
Right.
I want to stop. If I forget it, I just don't even want to think about it anymore. This is the way I wish I would live my life, is I didn't have my worried about what the next topic was going to be.
Right.
Which I don't seem to come up with a topic.
Right, but you could be worried about what the current topic is, right?
I either have to get help from a doctor for this, or I have to learn to let it go.
I think probably a combo of the two is the answer.
You think so? You think it's Prozac related?
I don't know if it's Prozac related, but it's worth investigating. If it's becoming a noticeable hindrance in your life, you can't just go, if I forget, that's it. I'm on to the next thing.
Well, I still well,
fuck everyone else.
We talked about this before, where you have to worry about dementia.
I don't think it's dementia. It's a memory thing. It's different track.
Well, if I can't take advantage of having a podcast, if anybody out there on Prozac forgets the thing that they just said, please write into our thoughts.
They will. I got plenty of advice about my back after I mentioned that a couple weeks ago.
Why were you mentioning your back? Was it funny?
Yeah.
What were you saying about it? Did you do it with a joke about your back?
No, we were talking about my back here on the podcast. Speaking of you not remembering anything.
What did you say about your back?
It doesn't matter. I don't want
is
to
it
go
chronic?
over it again. I don't want to go over it again. I'm going to get more letters. I'm going to get more advice. And you know how well I take advice.
This is so good. This is what they're wanting. This is like a right-wing radio. Ooh. Is that a dog?
That was Lucky growling preemptively.
Out the window. Wow. All right. I'm the new me now.
So have you considered something that was discovered initially in jellyfish or something?
It's unbelievable. As you know, jellyfish are so cerebral.
I know, but there's have you tried even over the counter?
I'm not taking Prevagen. I'm not.
Why?
Taking,
what the fuck? You're too proud to take memory shit, and yet you're going, I forget every other fucking thing.
Because I don't buy that jellyfish are particularly good memories.
I don't buy that it's necessarily a good selling point, but I do buy.
Who says that it works?
I don't know. Look it up.
We got to come up with. If we come up with one of these drugs, and the names are always like Abilify or,
right.
It sounds like two different emotions going at the same time.
Right.
Tricor.
Right. So you're just waiting for the right word to come along.
I just think we should invent something because that's where the money is. There's no other commercials on TV except for medical things.
Okay. Well, I think you need 100 cc's of Remembitrin.
It sounds like you almost could have been Dennis Miller there. This guy needs 100 cc's of resveratrol. Do you know where he got that resveratrol from?
From the word.
Isn't it wine?
Yes, resveratrol.
Oh, my God. First of all, I wanted him to be an expert. He never was the expert, but now he's doing the elitist thing. You bypassed being the world's expert to the world's, excuse me, it's pronounced resveratrol. Well, I'm onto something with this obnoxious guy.
Let's go to our first guest.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
It would be so great.
And we could also tease the guest. So in general, when you tease the guest, they won't shut it off normally.
Right.
Like if we had, who would you think would pick up the energy here?
Pat Paulson would pick up the energy here.
Now, did you hear that Joel killed at the particular show?
That's what he kept telling me. I killed. No, he said it was fun.
He did he was like, he was right in the pocket. I haven't seen him do stand-up. But I never think of him as not doing stand-up because he's always doing stand-up.
No, there was like a quarter century there where he wasn't doing stand-up.
I know.
Yeah.
But since I started with him, or maybe I started differently from him, but I don't remember when he quit either.
He quit in the very early 90s.
Maybe he knew the boom was going to...
Well, he knew the boom came to his life because he was writing for Roseanne.
Right. Now, have you seen the new Roseanne?
I have not. Is it on now?
It's on soon.
Yeah.
I'll watch it because I think they're all talented people.
Well, I'm sure you'll have a great review.
I I don't think I'm going to have a good
I
review.
don't think you will either.
Well, no, but I loved the early years of Roseanne. I loved that
It was
show.
great in 1985 or 7 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
I guess 1988.
And the first 4 or 5 years were good, weren't they?
Yeah, it was a really good show.
Did you write for that show?
I did not.
But you had friends who did it.
I did, yeah.
We both had a friend.
Including Joel Madison.
Joe Madison wrote for that. I should find out more things about him on Google. You heard me. We're starting with our new dog sound effects this week.
Yeah. I'm trying to teach them to sing Jingle Bells.
I want the listeners to know. I'm going to start calling the listeners as if there's a group of them.
Okay.
But I saw Josh's bicycle this week, electronic bicycle, or whatever you call it.
Oh, my scooter. Sorry.
Oh, man, that was good.
My Irby.
You talk about attracting the ladies.
It's like a bear on a tricycle. I know what I look like, but it's the perfect vehicle for that distance, however.
Everyone seems interested in it. Have you noticed that a little bit? It's like having a dog?
Yeah.
Did you, before you were married, ever use a dog to pick up a woman?
No. I never even got that clever about picking up women.
Why do I think I could have been Johnny Carson or an interviewer? I have nothing to ask people. That's my big question. Did you ever have a rare bird in your shoulder, or?
No, it was a common bird. It was a crow.
You had your own crow?
I did, yeah.
Oh, that's from your show.
What?
Isn't that Mystery Science Theater 3000?
There actually was a character called Crow.
But that's not what you're talking about?
No.
You used to have a crow?
No.
Were you in The Falcon and the Snowman?
Oh, my God, Andy.
Were you in The Falcon and the Snowman? Look, at least I know I'm doing poorly, right? I'm not denying it. Ask me how the show's going.
How's it going?
Awful. Ask me why the show's going awful.
Why, Andy?
Because I won't listen. I keep talking. I cut you off. There's so many reasons. I think I brought up a topic that I have to remember again.
Right.
That I can't remember it, and then I make the whole show about me not remembering it.
Last week you talked about coming up with the card system of life. How's
Like
that
Deal a
going?
Meal?
Yes. In fact, you brought that up last week.
Well, then the people know I'm ripping up Deal a Meal then. You can't just go from... what was it? What kind of
you
cards?
were going to write things down on cards.
I did, and now I did that. Okay. Let me look at my card. Now, here's what I'm doing as a experiment.
Okay.
And I'm really doing this.
Uh-huh.
I love when you say something, you build it up. You build up nothing. Hey, don't think I'm not doing it.
I wasn't building it up. I was patronizing
No,
you.
me. I know, but I was building it up, and then you were patronizing me. Oh, you want to know what it is that I do? Okay, I'm happy to tell you. I, from now on, will have 3 cards.
Okay.
Unless I'm
3 cards.
3 cards. Unless I'm working on a book, and then I'll have a 4th card.
Okay.
I just want to work on cards from now on.
Okay.
Because they're easy to hold.
Okay.
So I bring this one. This is the one I'm bringing to therapy tomorrow. I brought all 3.
Therapy card?
Yeah.
Okay.
So on the therapy card, I have to tell my therapist, I have OCD. Right?
I do know
So
that.
my thing is, I say things trying to convey what it's like to have OCD, but then I say something crazy.
Right.
Okay? So I said, like, my whole thing is my family is black and white. You're good or you're bad. You're good or you're bad. So whenever I think of doing anything bad, I don't understand the difference between me. It's like, what's the difference between me and a serial killer? And then my therapist last week said, what? Serial killer? So now this whole week, I'm thinking that she's calling the cops on me. But I didn't really mean to say that I'm worried that I'm a serial killer. What I really meant to say is I'm worried I'm going to get in trouble.
Right.
It's not me worried, did I kill people earlier today?
Right.
And don't remember?
Once you're into the horrible person category, there's no grades. It's
Right,
like
there's no gray
It's
area.
like the Me Too movement for yourself.
Yes, that's exactly right. And of course, that's a perfect example of OCD. I probably spend 30 minutes a day thinking about old experiences, but because I'm getting better at that particular part of OCD.
Yeah. So
I don't think
tomorrow
that
when you
much.
go to things, don't go, what's the difference between me and a rapist? don't
No.
do that.
That's just yeah. Look, I threw my wife. Maybe we do like a prank with her, right? Look,
That's good.
I shoved my wife. I thought it was fun. We were having fun.
Right.
She goes through a plate glass window. I'm the bad guy. Doc. Well, I'm not a doctor, she'd probably say at that
Right.
point. So, the thing is that that's why my particular form of OCD is when works, it's because I buy into it. Okay, so I'll give you an example. When I used to think I hit someone in my car,
Right.
that was plausible
Sure.
to me. So if it's plausible and I could not let that part go, I could have hit someone in my car.
So were you having then was there an internal conversation was there any voice in your head going, come on, you didn't hit anyone with your car, or was it all voices trying to find a way that
No,
you
there
did?
was a person saying, no, you didn't hit it. You didn't hit it. You would have heard by now if you hit somebody. Well, maybe I wouldn't have heard. You would have felt it. Well, maybe I wouldn't have felt it. So there was a person, but the voice arguing against me thinking these terrible OCD things was not very strong.
Right.
So
It was the straight man.
right.
Right.
But the good thing of it is that it helps me get rid of it now because it is kind of absurd what I'm worried about.
And isn't that basically what the process is at this point then? Isn't it just making that voice stronger? The voice of reason, if you will?
I really do think that's most.
Because you're still going to have those instincts. You're still going to have those thoughts. The trick is finding a mechanism to shut them down.
I don't think the mechanism to shut them down is what I tried my whole life, was like to forget it.
Right.
So what I think it is what I'm trying to do in general for my whole life is, as a feeling comes up, instead of accepting the feeling and then trying to get out of the bad feeling or whatever, I will question what the feeling was. Because I think most of the things that depress me in life are not on the face of it depressing. Like answering emails.
Right.
You know?
That's just your go-to knee-jerk reaction to it.
Oh, I can't answer. You know, it's like, oh, I don't want to answer emails. It's like, if I could order DoorDash on Twitter while I'm tweeting, I wouldn't leave the house.
Right. But what triggers that dread? I mean, is it just any task
Okay, well,
that you're supposed to do? I'm using "supposed to" in quotes.
in the most classic way that it still happens every day in my life, but not the way it was. It's like, I am starting to put things together about it that make sense. So like, I'm always late. Although I'm getting better at it, but I'm always late or right on time. But I'm always cutting it close.
Right.
So, what did you ask me? What triggered it? Oh, okay. So here's what will happen. I know that I need to be at therapy at 2:00, and so I say to myself, leave the house at 1:15.
Right.
Well, sometimes I don't leave till 1:30. And I've gotten there on time. But when I'm leaving at 1:30, then I start to do a thing where I am rushing a little bit. So now I'm actually feeding into my biggest fear. I'm maybe not looking so great behind me when I'm driving.
Right.
And they go, oh, you didn't look good behind you. So then I just keep trying the crazy behavior of worrying about it instead of being in the moment the first time it happens.
Right. But are you able to trick yourself ever? Like, can you go, I have to be there at 2, therefore I need to leave at 1, or I need to go think 12:30,
I think
the same way you do with airports, for example.
Well, 1:15 was my go-to because it wouldn't take me 45 minutes to get there, but I think I may push it back to 1.
I think you should.
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
Well, because I, for a long time, had
Because
set
then you'll hit 1:15.
Yeah, but a lot of times I set my clock fast, and that never worked for me. I always knew which ones were fast, and then I would fool myself and thought it was fast.
Right, but I think it's not a question of trying. I think the real thing to do is not trick yourself. It's make new rules for yourself.
That's what I'm trying to do in general. That's what I'm trying to do. But when you think like the emotional component of what triggers it, I don't really know what originally triggered it, but there's probably a part of me that knows I'm rushing around in general.
Right.
And I'm not kind of like, I'm thinking I'm worried. So when you're rushing around in general like that, that is what maybe could stimulate me to have these OCD. I'm not saying that makes it OCD.
No, I think, but
because I don't know if the germ thing comes from, I don't have a germ thing, but people have a germ thing. I don't think it comes from conscious. I don't know where it comes from.
Right.
I don't know if you can pick your OCD.
But I do, but I think it's, you're more ripe for panic if you're starting off raw with anxiety,
Right. And that's when
your defenses are down.
Yeah, like tonight, I think the most I'd ever been for the podcast. I was 15 minutes late, and I was taking down Christmas decorations, and I was trying to time a shower, and I messed it up. But it's also because I start to think I can do one more thing. Or I go, those dishes aren't clean. That's another OCD thing that can make you late.
Yeah.
If you don't understand the order of doing things, you have to go to therapy. You can do the dishes later, but I say no. It's got to be perfect before I leave the house. It's never perfect, by the way.
Right. Yeah, but that seems like a big fucking drag.
Right. And on top of that, with the forgetting what I just said thing. So, my thing has been lucky in the way because I never thought I could reason with myself. That's the thing.
Right.
I didn't think, because the stronger voice was, how do you know you didn't hit the guy at the thing?
Right.
Why are you, don't get to, because I think I was really I think I have this worry that something terrible is going to happen to me more than is normal, maybe. You know, I don't have it all the time,
right.
But I had that my whole life, kind of. Something terrible is going to happen.
Yeah, it seems like you think that.
Yeah. And then also,
I don't know, and I guess I think that too, but I just feel like that's what happens. terrible things happen, and you just have to be ready.
But I panic. Like one of the things I'm dealing with in therapy, because I'm not embarrassed to talk about some of the things, but one of the things I'm dealing with in therapy, I always say I'm 5 years old when something happened.
Yeah.
So it's not, I'm not 5 years old.
Right.
But I just saw a kid and he was 12 that I thought was 5 years old. So I say I was 5 years old because maybe something really horrible happened at 5. But when I was like 10 years old, I was playing with my friend and, I got lost from him. It was in this place near where I live called Le Havre, which all the buildings looked the same, kind of. So I got lost and I panicked and started crying hysterically. Right. So when my friend came to see me, I lied that someone tried to beat me up. That's how embarrassed I was about it, that I had to make up this story.
Right.
And then I just basically covered over that memory. Like, oh, that was terrible.
Right.
But I never look at that memory and have any compassion for myself
Yeah,
for being 10 years old.
To me, I
panicked.
go, that doesn't deserve any shame at all.
Right.
Like zero.
Well,
Like zero shame.
I
let
agree.
yourself off the hook tonight on this show. You were absolutely fine to try to cover up for crying because you were lost. You were 10 years old.
All I thought of was that I was a liar and they would catch
Right.
me.
I'm forgiving you.
I think that's good. It's interesting you said it because when I look back on these things, a lot of times I think you're still looking back on it like you did something wrong.
Right. No,
you know?
I mean, I have little scars like that too, where it's just like, oh, you fucked up, but you were 7. So what? You know?
Right. Although generally, see, in my family,
I hate being wrong. I fucking hate it.
Well,
I hated that we couldn't come up with Crispin Glover last week. It bugged me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
You were doing
You're
well.
sorry to interrupt?
No, you were doing well. That's what I meant.
Wait, well, I'll record that and we'll put that wild. Yeah, so
that's why I'm sorry.
I'm trying to simplify everything, basically. Just simplify everything. Because, okay, what I'm worried about. See, that was an example where I just stopped for 5 seconds and remembered.
Right.
But I think that I had a fear of abandonment that is from something traumatic that happened, or just knowing my parents were out to lunch. You know what I mean? Like, I would write letters home from camp. Please pick me up. Are you going to pick me up?
Right.
Like weeks beforehand. Don't forget, I get in at 3. That's not a good sign. I'm 9 years old.
Is any of that true?
It's true.
You weeks in advance of camp, you were writing.
No. Weeks in advance of coming home from camp, I would write to my parents.
Oh, just to make sure they would be there.
Remember, it's Saturday.
You weren't saying to come get you from camp. You were saying
come get me from the city. Yeah, there was one year where we went. They took us back to the city, and then they picked us up.
Right.
Maybe that. You know what it was?
The bus takes you back to the city, and they pick
only
you up
because my
at the
goddamn
church
parents,
or the synagogue, or whatever it was.
My parents couldn't pick me up. They did pick me up later. Maybe they realized, oh, maybe we should pick them up.
Oh, so you got left?
I got left
sitting with your duffel bag.
My duffel bag in the city. So maybe the fear was based on my fear. I think was based on the fact that I do think my parents were not exactly on it as parents.
Yeah,
my parents. They never did things like wondered where we were or did a count.
Right. Well, and I think that's one of the things you realize as you get older. And I was talking about that, like, with my dad and, like, you know, getting to age as he was and going, oh, that's what it looked like from here. And you go, being a parent, like there's no wisdom attached to the fact that you're a parent.
Right.
Like you get none of that is biological, so it's just like.
You say it's all learned.
I'm just saying, like you get to the age of your parents and you go, boy, I'm not as smart as I thought my parents were.
Right.
At this age,
Yeah.
And yet I don't think I'm dumber than my parents. So man, they just were operating on instinct,
Well, that's why I always said to myself, I'm glad. I've said to myself many times, and my wife has said too, we're glad we didn't have kids, because I don't think I couldn't have done it very well.
Yeah.
Because I would have afraid I drop them, and so I don't think everybody has all those fears though.
I think they do though.
I guess so.
Yeah. I mean,
like how I wouldn't.
No, I mean, I was a step parent for a kid from age 8 on, and it's like, you kind of are aware that you're fucking things up. As
and did you have to approve of child-proof things?
No, because he was
not
8.
At 8.
No.
Oh, okay.
But no, I never had to do little kid, toddler, baby. I never had that, but.
Because my brother ate a whole.
But I know it wasn't for Allison, my wife. It wasn't like she never felt like she had any instinct for it.
Oh, really? So that's because you think that woman or something like that, but they're all assumptions.
She always felt like
it was hard.
It was hard, and I think most women feel like incredible pressure,
right?
That they're fucking this up.
Yeah, and also when you're born in all these different changes that we've gone through, and like I know you weren't for the Equal Rights Amendment, but I really was for it. That's one of my favorite things is to make, like I've been trying to get people to laugh at this thing where I've told you this, I haven't seen him for a while, and I say in a loud voice, hey Eddie, I want to tell you, you were right about Trump. I'm pleasantly surprised. Not so bad. Half the time that joke doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, it's tough to react to.
Yeah, because you're the person.
Because there's every part of your rational mind wants
to punch me in the face.
Wants to punch you or at least object.
Punch him.
You know. But every part of your comedy mind wants to yes and you in some way to keep the bit going.
Yes, that's true. But I don't know if it bothers you, but it has bothers me. Mark, Mark Harris? I follow him. He's like a reviewer. For Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah, I vaguely
but he was starting to go on today. He's like, he's just sick of everybody saying the Democrats messed it up. They messed it up. It's their fault. It's like everybody, and I feel the same way. It's like, who knows? But it's not so easy. What would you do in the situation? And I could make the argument that they didn't want to let people actually lose their federal jobs for a couple of weeks. They're balancing all these things together.
Right.
So I'm not so sure that they did anything that wrong by letting it go 2 more weeks, especially since they got the children's health insurance programs signed off for 6 years.
Right.
You don't care about this.
No, I do care about it. I'm trying to formulate a full opinion. I'm more like you, where I wasn't enraged by it.
Right.
There wasn't a win to be had, I don't think, in the way that things went down. So, the real fight happens in the next 3 weeks between now and February 8th.
Exactly. In fact, I would make the argument that people didn't even know about it. What they were.
Well, I guess my big sort of dismissal of the whole thing is no one gives a shit for real. It has never ever been an election issue, a government shutdown.
Right.
Do you have any recollection of it ever coming up?
Yeah, in 2013.
Well, with Ted Cruz, and he won still.
No, these Republicans, everything they do is evil.
No, do you remember it coming up in an election as an issue?
Oh, did it come up as why am I confused?
I'm saying, what side of the shutdown were you
I see.
on?
You think it's going to be...
yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's fucking January,
That's
and people
true.
are worrying about a 2-day shutdown and how it's going to look.
Well, they're worried that they let them open it up again.
Yeah, but if fucking DACA is on the Republican, that's blood on the Republicans' hands,
And the chip thing, they got 6 years tied to it. I just think it's
they shouldn't have made that a bargaining chip though, because they let it expire. In August.
The Republicans, they kept saying. Can there be anything more transparent than to, little Timmy may not get his diabetes medication if you don't come through with the continuing
resolutions? It is a lot
resolutions.
easier to govern when you have zero shame.
They have zero shame.
Yeah.
I don't like listening to that.
What?
Go ahead.
No. You're going to say how I was for Mitch McConnell.
It's bad. That's why I stopped. Go ahead.
No, it's just the most craven fucking pile of shit. I can't believe it.
It is. I just was going to say I can't stand listening to him for 1 second.
What's wrong? I can't.
He's worse than... You can't even say Trump's the worst. They're all terrible. Cruz is...
No, Trump is the worst, but
wasn't Cruz yelling at someone today on TV?
Ted Cruz is horrible, too.
And, if you made the argument, it would be better if... You could make the argument it would be better if Ted Cruz was president.
I honestly...
It might be worse.
I don't think I would hate him less than I hate Trump.
Well, he's also smart. He is smarter.
But he would have respected the office.
You think so?
Yeah. I think he would have acted with the decorum of a real president. I think he probably would have had, some sense of ethics. I think he probably would have appointed more competent, although right-wing people.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I want, it's like when it was
But I'd still hate him like poison.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish that...
And he wouldn't have won. Hillary would have beaten Ted Cruz.
That's true. Because the guy's a clown. He really is a clown. They have terrible...
That everyone universally hates, except for somehow his constituents.
Well, Rachel Maddow had a thing about how when he was elected...
That's how much they fucking hate Democrats, is they'll elect Ted Cruz again and again.
Not Democrats.
No, that's how much they hate Democrats.
Oh, yeah. Well, they hate Democrats so much in Alabama, they elected Jeff Sessions.
I know.
But things are turning around, folks. This is...
The blue train is coming. Toot, toot.
What is the blue train?
It's the blue wave.
Oh.
On a train.
Yeah. I hate the thing where people say, are you taking the pill? Are you going to take the red pill? That's become a thing. It's from Brave New World, maybe? Take the blue pill.
Oh, right.
They're like you're buying into the Kool-Aid. It's the current version of drinking the Kool-Aid.
Oh, okay.
So let's see where we are right now in the podcast. Where we are right now in the podcast is...
This is why I built in the questions.
I know
on
you
Twitter.
did, but the thing is, I feel... how do I get out of... Here's my new personality.
Okay.
I'm sorry I am the way I am. I'm sorry I am the way I am. I'm very sorry about it until people want to kill me.
Right.
Because that doesn't cut it.
Is there an answer, though, that will satisfy you?
Well...
Do you want me to be like... It's okay, man.
No,
don't worry about it.
No,
okay,
because I think no, I don't want that. Although if it worked, I'd like it.
Right, that's what I'm asking.
Andy, you're okay.
Is there anything I can do that'll work in this interchange, or is it just like let you go, let you cry yourself out?
No, but it's a weird thing because it's like I know I have a problem listening. So then I even try harder to cut you off. I don't quite understand where I'm going with it. I think I just get nervous, panicky. Not panicky like when I was playing with my friend when he was 10, but aware of myself,
Yeah.
And then I say, oh God, am I going to be the guy who everyone goes, oh my God, you can't listen to that podcast. All he does is talk about how hard it is doing a podcast. And, it's like something has happened to me, but not really.
Not really.
No, I'm fine.
No, it's actually, you got better. You focused in.
Yes. That's true. Because the only way I can listen and not cut off people is to listen.
It's weird.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not from beating myself up, which I do a lot.
Right.
Beating myself up is the New Year's resolution that I have been pretty good at keeping.
Yeah. The not beating yourself up or constantly this year I'm going to beat myself to death.
I won't allow the mean voice to run me.
That's good.
Inside myself. That I've been able to do.
Good.
It's like, have I finished the taxes? No, but I've been able to. Now, where are you in all let's turn the tables. Where are you on your tasks? You were doing a thing where you're doing one thing a day.
Yeah, that wasn't my policy. That just seemed to be what was happening.
No, but that works. It's like when you get sometimes you can't do anything but just get up and do something.
All right. My tasks are they're still giving me low level anxiety. It's all like this Day Bar movie still keeps like this was I just got Vacation by the Go-Go's today for the movie.
You did?
I did, yes.
That is really cool.
Not their record. It's a different. It's not. I didn't need the master. I just needed the publishing. But it was no easy feat.
And how'd that play into the movie? Just something you wanted?
No, it's this scene where it's Michael's band Checkered Past, which was with Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols and Nigel Harrison and Clem Burke from Blondie and Tony Sales. It was their little sort of 80s supergroup.
Man.
And they just started playing together, and and it was Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols, so it was sort of punkish when they started. And they would open with Vacation by the Go-Go's.
Oh, okay.
Their sort of sped up
It was
version
good,
of it.
Right? And I remember from the movie.
So they would open it. They'd open with Vacation by the Go-Go's, and then so they play this gig, and they're backstage, and Gary Gersh
of the Gersh Agency
from EMI at the time comes backstage and goes, "You guys are great," and that song you opened with is a hit. And Nigel goes, "Yes, it is. It's Vacation by the Go-Go's."
Oh, I remember this was in the movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's so great. So when you get the publishing, in other words, you're not trying to get their recording of it.
No.
You're trying to get are you getting
So
your recording?
I have a recording of them playing Vacation underneath the story in the movie.
Yeah.
So I didn't need it because the story tells the story, but I like the authenticity of having the actual track there.
Is it hard getting the rights to his own stuff like that sometimes too? It depends, right?
Yeah, I'm down to 3 more songs. I have 3 songs left to clear.
That you can't.
That's all from one of his bands that I haven't been able to clear yet.
Wow.
But I'm starting to strategize. How do I tell the story of a band without their music for 5 minutes?
And how's the movie doing?
I think it's doing fine. I mean, it's all anecdotal. I don't know I don't have sales numbers, but
Well, we're going to be on Easy Street now that we have the merch. I can't believe it. It's
the merch at Zazzle.com/thought_spiral.
Zazzle.
Let's look at some questions on Twitter.
Look at some questions. So what'd you think of my therapy card? I won't up this.
Let's go. Let's go first. What are the other 2 cards? You have the what things to say in therapy card.
I only worry about things I only worry about things that are plausible, which I talked to you about.
That's
something that Susan and I noticed. We have she's great at organization, but we both have organizational problems.
Uh-huh.
So she says certain things were driving her crazy, like we were doing on our record keeping, and one of them was current bills. It's like they're all yes. If you haven't paid them, they're all current.
right.
Bills you haven't paid.
Right. Default pile. All right, let's look at the thing. Let's see. Casanova Frankenstein, our friend, who helped Alex with some of the merch layout stuff. So thanks for that.
Oh yeah, thank you. Why am I spacing out again now?
I don't know. Focus.
Okay, I got it. I don't know what I was worried about.
This is a tweet question.
Okay.
From Casanova Frankenstein.
Come on, Casanova, bring it home.
Hey, fellas. Just wanted to say thanks for doing this show for us every week. It's almost always the highlight of my week. Wait, don't read that second part on the show. It'll sound like I got nothing going on.
No, it does. Well, look, it does sound like maybe there aren't a lot of exciting things available to you. I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to put us down as a choice. I always want to put us down as a choice that someone wants to, but that's my favorite feedback. But we cheered someone up, and we made their shopping go better.
Right.
Some people like to listen to us during a root canal.
Yes. Some people liken it to a root canal.
I'm sure they do.
Keith Bush says, what's the nicest true thing that you can each say of the other?
Like
you go first.
Is this inside the actor's studio?
You go first.
What is the nicest thing?
Nicest true thing.
Oh. Well, I would say that Josh is a wonderful person. I can't do this seriously.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I can't do it sincerely. Josh is hilarious. But they're making... Usually those questions imply that you haven't said these things before.
All right.
You have very soft skin.
Yes.
I love your touch.
Yes.
I love the way you smell in the morning. Okay, look, I'm sick. I made myself sick.
All right then.
How about you? You answer it now. God damn it! Why am I on the hot seat?
You look good for 100. Keith Bush also writes, I am worried about Mr. Weinstein's obviously crippling entomophobia.
What is that?
I think it's doors. Fear of doors.
Oh, is he introducing something that we didn't know?
I don't know. I think it's Mr. Weinstein and the door thing is what he's going for.
Mr. Weinstein.
Yes, come in. I'm afraid come in because I'm afraid of the door.
Mr. Weinstein, have you scheduled the door to be shimmed?
No, I'm terrified of what could happen.
Mr. Weinstein, please come in here, please, and bring the plans for the new door. I don't think I'm expanding my voices. Is it British? Expand the new door.
I don't know what it is. No, it's like...
Coffee talk?
Yes. Karen,
don't waste your time on me. For sure, or.
Hello, Josh and Andy, says Arthur Nitschke.
Like Nietzsche?
Kind of.
Nietzsche?
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Hello, Josh and Andy. Could you combine two of my favorite things from your podcast and have Andy say, Mr. Weinstein, get that lobster to Burbank, Mr. Weinstein.
Okay. Mr. Weinstein, get that lobster to Burbank, Mr. Weinstein, before you die another T.
All right,
I think you
on.
cross a T, though. I think you cross a T.
It doesn't matter.
Mr. Weinstein?
That was the button.
Did you lay a lot of pipe when you were on sitcoms? Or did you have a lot of blows?
Did I say again?
Did you lay a lot of pipe?
I did some pipe. I buried my pipe, baby.
That's the best part, right?
Yeah, no, I
so you were
buried my
not
pipe.
Did you ever bother you, the exposition people? I know, mother, that father has a sickness. The Exposition Boulevard, when the whole pilot show is about setting up the show. You don't do that. Did you take a class or a workshop on how to stick it to your podcast partner with the silent treatment? You have to be happy when I do come up with a good one finally.
I will be.
Wah, wah, wah.
Brian Salerson says, if you guys were a vaudeville comedy duo called Thought and Spiral, who would be Thought and who would be Spiral? I think I know the answer.
Well, you would be Thought and I'd be Spiral. Isn't that easy?
I'm Bobby Thought and I'm Tommy Spiral, and we're Bobby and Tommy.
Well, I don't think, and I'm not known as a thinker, but when people who are fans of the show, I just like saying fans of the show, they think of you as a deep thinker.
They think of me as a deep thinker? No, they don't.
Neither one of us.
No, they don't.
They don't come here for like a radio lab type shows.
No. Joe says, this thing is valuable to people. I think Feldman gave up his cast and just listens to you now. I'd like to ask for something to buy. That mug you keep talking about. Or a shirt that you both sign. Huh? Monies?
Is this Feldman?
No, this is Joe.
Joe Cotana?
Yes.
See how good I am?
Yeah.
He's talking about... Is he doing a bit about...
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know
maybe
we
he's
have
not selling it to
a gift shop at Zazzle.com/thoughts.
You're saying that there are some people who don't know where the merch is available?
You mean Zazzle.com?
Zazzle.com/thought_spiral? Do they have to know our name or do they have to know Zazzle's name?
They need both. Tommy Barcanero. Andy, have you ever had awkward conversations with friends after they've appeared on shows that you loathe? Example, Maron on Bill Maher.
No, because I would never. Well, because I know Maron knew Bill Maher before. I can't expect people to all. I mean, I'd like it if everybody hated Bill Maher and didn't go on his show. But I would never. I'd never be the guy who goes, "Can't believe Maron went on his show."
Right.
No,
like you were happy for me when Fallon promoted the doc. You didn't go for Fallon's scorn.
Right. Well, that's because there's a part of me that when I think of the people I've slammed, there's a part of me that goes, "Oh, why did you? Couldn't you have been?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you got to separate the Seth Rogen mistakes from the making fun of Jimmy Fallon is just good, clean fun.
Sure.
Is he still trailing Colbert, or you haven't checked it out?
I have not been tracking.
I can't believe, though, that he's going viral like he used to in the old days when he would do a potato salad contest with Cameron Diaz.
Right. No, only Trump burns go viral now.
What if Trump burns?
Trump burns.
Like a slamming Trump?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as Trump burns. You made that up, right?
It was just a fucking phrase I used.
When did
You're treating me like what the fuck?
You know what's really enhanced it, though?
I just don't understand the things you don't understand sometimes.
But I like that we were dueling by making incredulous faces at each other. Do you think it's effective?
We were both in full... What the fuck are you talking about?
What are you assuming? We do a lot of verbal parrying on the show.
Oh, yeah. It's better than Matthew parrying.
I'm so sick. I really wish there was a universe where I wouldn't have heard that joke.
There is. The one 5 minutes from now.
Parallel universe or just something different?
No, just you'll forget. John Emilianoff. As towering music talents, do you two agree that the Star Spangled Banner is a bad song with a bad melody and outdated, pseudo-florid lyrics?
I have hated the song forever, and I hear there's racist verses on the song.
Yeah.
So I don't know who Francis Scott Key was. I don't care about that song. I would like it to be, the national anthem should be Ray Charles' version of America. Nobody else has to sing it. Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies. Is this racist or just doesn't sound good? For amber waves of great. Is it just bad? Is it inaccurate? Or is there also something wrong about it?
It is bad.
Yes.
It sounds nothing like Ray Charles.
And
there's something wrong with it. But it wasn't racist, I don't think.
I don't think it was racist.
No.
I don't think it was racist. But, it's not a good sign if you have to check with people.
It was more like a Bill Murray impression than it was a Ray Charles impression.
If you have to check with people if you're racist, that's a sign that you maybe need to take a workshop.
All right.
I knows laughed.
He continued with, should we, the people, hold an American Idol or a Eurovision type of competition to compose and vote on a new American national anthem?
I don't like it. I don't see why you would want to introduce...
I'm fine with the national anthem in the Olympic podium version.
Oh, because it's...
It works as an instrumental.
It's not good.
But you put words over it. It's not so good.
The French, Allons enfants de la patrie. I mean, that's a song.
Yeah, I don't think it's that much
What's
better.
Canada? Well, you don't go by my version.
It's O Canada.
Have you ever
also not that good.
You know what's a good song that people... It's not that bad, is it? Oh, Canada... No, it can't be good. I forgot.
What were you going to say?
I forgot.
Okay.
Oh, Danny boy. Why can't it be Oh, Danny boy? Oh, Danny boy. Or the Three's Company song. Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful. For spacious skies. For amber waves of grace.
Yes.
For purple mountains. Majesty. Above the fruited plains. America. America. I'm done.
Oh, I was in the mode of enjoying it and wishing I could do it. I wish I could belt them out. No, I don't know.
Kirk says, no question but a comment. I really enjoy the podcast and want to say thanks. When I binge listen, it makes my 6-hour road trip feel like 8 hours. Just kidding.
Oh, my God. I think that, I don't know where the money is, but this podcast thing where you go on a long ride is the greatest. I used to listen to all the Marins on long rides or whatever.
Yeah.
It works.
It does.
Do you do any audio books ever?
I used to when I was out on the road. I used to do, and they were on literally cassette books on tape.
And that was because it took a long time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You did the Bible that way, right? I heard.
I did, cover to cover.
The guy was pretty, in the beginning, He was Jewish.
It was Richard Belzer reading the Bible.
Hey, babe.
Dana Schwartz, I made what I think was my first tweet tonight calling some jerk a jerk. Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, I think I'm, when I could call people like Chuck Todd a jerk or call people a jerk, I really like it sometimes.
Yeah.
And my new bête noir or whatever is this Federalist Society. They are so horrible. Do you notice they're on every show? The Federalists?
Yeah.
Do you know what they stand for? They're terrible.
They're
and we don't
big.
know. No one knows where their
They
money's
just keep
from.
buying tickets to Hamilton.
How does the Federalist work? Let me ask you a question. How does the Federalist work? Oh, you keep buying tickets to Hamilton? I'm working on my own version of Hamilton.
Yeah.
I don't have the joke yet. I'll let you know.
I saw Hamilton last month.
And was it great? I heard it's great.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Is the build-up too big for it?
You know, it was. It's long, and it was fine. It was weird. Like, it was a weird happening. Like, the people who were at Hamilton were so unbelievably happy to be at Hamilton that it was kind of overwhelming.
Did it make you like Hamilton better? I don't really understand. Honestly, I don't really get who he was exactly. Is he on the something? He was a Federalist, so his whole thing was let's keep it federal. Is he somebody who didn't want there to be democracy votes?
Wow.
Weren't some of those guys like you shouldn't vote unless you were a landowner or something?
He was the first Secretary of the Treasury, and he basically invented the banking system of the United States.
So
and having it be a central federal bank as opposed to states.
So he was was he kind of a cool guy, Alexander Hamilton, or
he had some faults.
Like, what was his fault?
If you ask Aaron Burr, he'd say no.
Oh, see, this is another thing I realized. I'm watching Ari Melber today. They all know about Aaron Burr. I don't know anything.
It's because everyone has seen Hamilton now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why they're talking about what Aaron Burr did. I was fascinated about that duel. I thought that was the greatest thing until I was an adult and realized that.
I didn't know anything about anybody.
Would you duel somebody? If I said to you, look, Josh, let's duel it.
I duel you every week.
Is that where the parrying, Matthew Parry?
Yes. Let's see who else. Gail Simone wants to know, did Andy ever get his comics back? It's been preying on my mind.
Oh, yes, I did get my comics back. And the comics were Harvey Pekar comics and a really great book that's called The Comic Book History of Comic Books. Mm-hmm. And it's really cool because it writes it like a comic book, and it's talking about
is it like that
Harvey
Scott,
Kurtzman.
Is it like that Scott McCloud book kind of?
I never have actually read that. Understanding Comics?
Yeah.
Is that where they tell you where the thought balloons came from? I know I'm making it trivial, but is that where it's like how to read the language of comics?
Yeah. And it's done in comic book form.
I have to check it out.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
a book I always want to read.
Yeah, it's good. And you can read it because it's like a comic book. Tweet Pahara. Andy, have you called Moon Tower? Josh, please remind Andy to call Moon Tower.
That's a good thing to write.
Card number 3.
I don't even have a pen.
Oh, shit. Now we won't get to Moon Tower. I don't have a pen either.
I'm been followed by a moon tower.
Leaping and hopping on a moon shadow.
Oh, it came back to life.
Moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow.
Who was that comic, though? Moon shadow. Leaping and hoping on a moon shadow. Who was that guy went, ooh, 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 ooh?
Ron Palillo as Horshack.
No, but then there were the other guys who went, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah.
Or
ooh.
Joey Ross. Ooh, ooh.
Ooh, that's right.
Tootie from Car 54, Where Are You?
That's where it was.
Ooh, ooh.
Ooh. Bapa Sapa Saka and the Booga Baka Bank. Car 54, where are you? Those were the days that that's all you had to do for a chorus. You know what is
There's a holdup in the Bronx. Brooklyn's broken out in fights. There's a traffic jam in Harlem that's backed up to Jackson Heights. There's a scout troop short a child. Cruise just do it idlewild. Car 54, where are you?
I took a rhyme that wasn't even a rhyme, and somehow I made it cook. Lady Godiva was a freedom rider. She was a sister who really cooked.
No. She didn't care if the whole world looked.
She didn't care if the whole world looked. Bah, bah. A Joan of Arc with the law to guide her. She was a sister who really cooked.
Isadora was the first bra burner. Ain't you glad she showed up?
Oh, yeah. Well, then
When
the country was falling apart.
Betsy Ross got it all sewed up.
Why can't we have a song for our podcast like that?
We can.
And then came Maud. Then there's Maud. I don't know if this is a true story. I don't know if I told it before, but Janine Garofalo had to go to a therapist because she couldn't get that song out of her head.
I had that song in my head for a great long part of my childhood.
Wow.
The Maud theme. I don't know why, but it was there a lot as a kid.
It's so great.
And it's still, I just heard it it's on my iPod that I've had in my car for years. And it shuffled every once in a while. And it just came up.
Who wrote that song?
I can't remember who it was.
It's not Jose Feliciano, right?
No. Maud.
Maud, you have discovered Bill Macy and the...
Lady Godiva. Freedom of her.
You know what's a great... You know what's a great song? Do you think Beverly... I think Beverly Hillbillies is a great... The Beverly Hillbillies is a great song. Like, not just a...
I think you're wrong.
You think it's... I think it's a great song.
It's a good TV theme. It's not a great song.
I think it's one of the best TV themes then, ever. Because... And also when Scruggs and Flat play at the end, the jam.
Yeah.
Well, what are you telling me? About ba-da-ba-da-da-da. Taxi, is it? Dooba-dooba-dooba-dooba-doo. This is going to be the part of the show they love.
Oh, my God.
What's the show where the guy at the end went, Mr. Holiday, do you want a thing? Was that Taxi?
Right. Yes, it was, I think. I'm trying to... Good night, Mr.
I know that guy, but I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I can't either.
Did you hear that someone accused Aziz Ansari of being funny?
Yeah, you.
Do you know that I didn't even remember that joke?
No, because it's something you said on the podcast. Of course you didn't.
So funny. And I'm saying to myself, God damn it, I nailed it again.
Burn!
Trump burns.
Did you see that Bill Cosby did a set last night?
Get out of here. Are you joking?
I am not joking.
Where?
In Philadelphia.
And they recorded it or something?
No, he was at like a little jazz club and he announced it like an hour before. It was like a Tony.
And did people come down?
There was like 50 very, close friends kind of.
Oh, God.
It was just like.
Why does he have to perform? Do you think he misses it?
I don't know.
Yeah, he must miss it.
I mean, I hear his Louis C.K. chunk was amazing, but.
His Louis C.K. chunk?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
What are you saying? He didn't talk about Louis C.K., did he?
You're a fucking professional comedian, Andy. Why do I have to explain jokes to you?
Explain that
like
joke
a
to me.
2-year-old.
He wouldn't talk about Louis C.K.
No, he wouldn't.
No, but I thought
Thus the humor.
No, I thought maybe he had talked about Louis C.K. and he was like one of these things. Look, people, you don't get it. You don't get it what it's like being a celebrity. One of those bits.
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
Why are you so... Let me ask you a question. I can get how you could be angry, but so angry? I just stabbed myself with my pen.
All right, now I
What's
feel better.
the upside to being friends with me? That's all I want to know. What do you get out of it besides being annoyed?
Well, I'm hoping it's merch sales.
That's what I'm hoping too.
Well, I think we've put on quite a show here tonight, Andy.
Is it true that how long have we talked, would you say? Don't tell me. I'll find out later.
Okay.
Why do I annoyingly... You have very little rules. But one of the rules is like, if you didn't say how long we've been talking, if you didn't do this, and I like a moth to the flame, baby. Jazz. Do you do that? Remember that Billy Crystal guy? Jazz.
Yes. That's one of my favorite racist characters of the 80s.
How's it going, Flash? How's it going, Cold Man? Yeah, I know Richard Pryor also did voices, but maybe I should do my own voice.
So if you want to be part of the hilarious Twitter answering part of the show, follow us on Twitter at Twitter thought _
How many
spiral.
followers do we have now?
On Twitter?
Yeah.
Let me look.
It better be thousands.
It's not thousands.
God damn it. What's the matter with these people?
It's hundreds.
This is pearls before swine. I don't want them to listen.
So every week, generally on Monday, I will, a couple hours before the show, I'll ask for questions. And so if you're following us, boom, you're in the club.
What if you're
if you
away?
want to talk to us during the week, email us at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com. If you'd like to buy a shirt or a mug and support the show, go to Zazzle.com/thought_spiral. And if you just want to support me and don't care about Andy so
are you
much,
going to plug the movie again?
support me by buying I Need You to Kill at iTunes,
I didn't
Amazon,
sign up for this.
Google
Who signed
Play,
up for the
pay-per-view.
Who signed up for the promotion
You
guy?
can buy Andy's special, I Wish I Were Bitter, at iTunes.
And also remember, go on Amazon and at checkout, put my name and see if it works.
Huh?
They always say Greg Fitzsimmons at checkout. Are you going to use any of this?
I might.
Mr. Weinstein, come into my office. It's very important that we end the show. Yeah, I've lost the ability even to do the one accent.
Yeah.
Mr. Weinstein. It's more like that, right? Mr. Weinstein. I don't believe it. Why can't I do voices?
I don't know. It's not so much the voice, it's that you never do a scene with it. It's just you say the same thing.
If I wrote a couple
over
of
and
examples
over.
of scenes. Mr. Weinstein?
Just go to the next line. Okay, I'm in the office.
Okay, let's try it.
Okay.
Mr. Weinstein, come in here, please.
Yes, Mr. Kindler.
How are you this afternoon?
I'm well, and you?
Oh, it's capital. Capital, I tell you.
Excellent. Very lovely day outside.
It certainly is. Now, Mr. Weinstein,
Yes.
do you know why I called you in here?
I was hoping you'd tell me.
No, I was hoping you'd provide the yes and part of the comedy.
Yes, you wanted me to bring you the script for this week's show.
Oh, my God. I'll tell you, I don't know how people do improv. It is so bad, the way we do it, at least. Yes, and it's bad. Yes, and it's not good.